What's up, the internet? It's Kyle. This is News from the Nexus, a podcast, episode 6, Astronomicon edition. On this episode, we have our friends Mike and Dustin from Astronomicon on to talk about the show and to talk about why you should go and to give you some history of the show and all of that kind of stuff. It's important to note that in this episode, we did these interviews via Skype, and sometimes the internet just doesn't want to like you. So we had some Skype issues at parts where audio levels were low or choppy. So just bear with us. I think you get the gist of what we were talking about and the importance of the show and why we wanted to promote it and why we like it so much. So stay tuned. Check out the episode. Smaller and yeah, it is the keto diet. Anyhow, we're here to talk about my favorite convention weekend of the year.
Right. That's a lie. You used to always be C2E2. When did that change?
When I decided I'm not going to C2E2 this year.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite convention weekend of the year, Astronomicon. Astronomicon 3 is February 7th, 8th, and 9th, Sterling Heights, Michigan, at the Wyndham Garden Hotel. If you're like me, It starts February 1st and ends somewhere around March 1st. Because it'll take me that long to recover.
Oh, it's a process.
It is 100% a process.
They know.
You have to decompress. I agree.
Not even that. I'll just sound like Dustin for about a month after.
You get to the end of it, and everybody's just, hey,
right.
Astro was great, man.
So, let's start.
But how about we introduce our guests and ourselves?
So, I'm Kyle. That one's Amanda.
God.
That one's Amanda.
Oh no!
Right there. That's Amanda.
Oh man!
And then
what just happened?
I punched the camera.
Jesus.
Those guys are Mike and Dustin. Say hi, Mike and Dustin.
Hi, Mike and Dustin.
There you go.
Dustin.
Mike is the one. Mike is the one with the normal hair. Dustin's the one with the better hair.
And this is normal.
It's actually, and let's be honest. I need some hair work done. Right now,
you'll have it on point for the show.
Oh, it'll be top notch.
Top notch is that guess,
right? So let's talk about Astronomicon because that's why we're all here. That's the most important thing.
Joel is here. Say hello to Joel.
Yeah, Joel. Guys, Joel is watching this right now. Joel works for us. He's 18 years old. This is his.
Are you letting him come?
Yes.
Lucky
this
Joel.
Is his first this is his first convention.
Like 3 days.
That is like a real convention.
No, he's been to conventions, but only for like 1 day.
Right.
This is his first. Like he's gonna be there all 3 days.
That doesn't count. He needs the whole 3 days.
Yeah, and that's what he's
right.
getting.
Joel, here's what. Joel, you bring your swimsuit.
Yep.
You're gonna need some vitamins, and I think you bring a pillow. Because you're going to need a nap.
Maybe a fanny pack or a backpack or something.
And bring your gosh darn dude. We are here to party.
You know, it's a podcast. You can swear, right?
We're on Facebook Live, and it's Astronomicon. It's family friendly.
You know us from other things, and you know our mouths
but
are...
I'm going, gosh darn, just is weird coming out of...
It's so hard, and I'm doing such a good job. Normally, when we do the live on YouTube, I'm the one who will, not thinking about it, say that the one. There's always one slip up a show.
And the guy who looks like he would be the one to slip up is the complete
Right,
angel.
you're the professional.
Yes.
And Mike's the screw up. Which, you know.
Yes. That's why he's behind the scenes.
Yes. Where I can scream from my office about things that no one knows.
Yeah, Joel says he's got his Flintstones gummies on point. So there we go.
Gummies, what is it, 2020? You go back and you take those little chalk
The
tastings.
Yes.
Oh, they were so
Best,
good.
Yeah.
best vitamins are the Bam Bams. And then later you learn that Bam Bams are slang for something else and your whole mind just explodes.
Yeah.
I didn't notice a flavor differential in the character.
I thought it was in the color.
Dino was purple, and those were always good.
Right.
And honestly, they all
Bam
came in
Bam was
different colors.
red, maybe?
I think Fred was red.
Fred was red?
I thought Fred was orange.
Bam Bam was like orange.
Yeah. See?
Regardless.
Now we're off onto a topic.
Doesn't matter, we're on a tangent.
I was gonna say they do still make them. I can still get them in the pharmacy.
Right.
So...
We could get some. But why don't we start here? Why don't you guys give us the Astronomicon story? There's a great documentary on the Amazons that you can watch that gives you all this stuff, but I'd rather hear it from the mouths of the guys.
From the mouths of babes.
Well,
heavens.
Well,
Earth Angel.
It all started in 1984.
No, I was a wee young lass.
I emerged to a young man in a white suit.
Well, I woke up. Never start your day saying you woke up. That's how every day is started from the dawn of man. Suddenly I was... No, man. So, realistically, so we work for Twisted. Twisted owns Astronomicon. We run it with them. They give us free reign. We do whatever we like. We book who we want. They chime in with their demands and their list of yeses.
I wouldn't
and
call
no's.
it demands. They're wants.
Yeah.
The,
Their want list, and we see where
they're not back here like you put this in the con or else. It's like, honestly, hey guys, I think this would be cool.
They're so easygoing that it's pretty much like when they do ask for something, we just make sure that they get. Otherwise, basically, they don't ask for shit. So when last year Paul was
also asked if we could get pinball games in his hotel room, and we said that one might not be his. But you take your battles where you get them.
But no, so Astronomicon started in loosely 17, 22 Wizard World and Rock and Shock and Days of the Dead conventions for as long as I've been with them.
New York Comic.
And they were vendors and they were celebrity guests, and they're like, we can do this. But
let's make it better.
And collectively, said it again in front of them, and they're like, that's it. And so that was it, and it kind of took shape from the name.
I said it with my smooth baritone voice, and they just had to
that voice for radio.
Fun fact, originally partnered with the great Gary Reed.
Yep.
So at High Ends, which I know is available at the Nexus 419 in Toledo.
I've got a
That's
stack
right.
Of freebies.
Hey, come here, go there. Either or, and get your copy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So the comic book happened, and Dirk is a big part of it, and he helped in the early goings of shouts out to Dirk Manning, the early goings of Astronomicon, and yeah, I mean, they pretty much were like, hey, we're gonna do a comic convention,
and then threw it at me,
there
Mike,
you go.
and George,
and so. George, me, and Dustin, we went to a bunch of shows, and we looked at, you've got phenomenal conventions here in Michigan. You've got Grand Rapids Comic Con. You've got, at the time, Monroe Comic Con, which is now Monroe Pop Fest. YumaCon. You've got Great Lakes Comic Con. You've got Capital City Comic Con. You've got C4 Cherry Capital Comic Con. And then you've got another one that's sort of big, I guess, whatever. We took all of the best parts that we saw from those conventions, and we're like, you need cosplay, you need vendors, you need artists, you need celebrities, you need fun for the whole family. And then we started piecing together what is now Astronomicon. The first year, I feel like, thanks to Twisted and because of Twisted, they are so... they have such a diehard following that we sold out the hotel and then had Snowmageddon. 16 solid inches.
I'm picking up celebrities from the airport and bringing them in a blizzard while white knuckling down the road in a Suburban.
Yeah.
Cars crash. I got Ryan Hurst. Okay, and I'm like, he's okay. I seen him pick his head up, and we just keep trucking just to make it happen.
That's just
so. The success, the fact that we're out anyway, the celebrities were all there, the vendors were all there, everybody was happy, everyone had a good time. There was only
one person that couldn't make it because of flight delays and everything, and he tried to make it twice.
And he did. So, but in lieu of all that, I feel like that lore, that's like a story. That's a story for the ages like that doesn't happen and make your shit successful. So there it is. There's the SH word.
We had all the elements.
We went
hotel,
to
fire department.
Another great convention. We went to Fantasticon in Toledo, immediately following Astronomicon. I think they're in March, right?
Ming Chen. Right?
We go there. Ming is there. He's all about us.
Shouts out to
Mr. Astronomicon, Ming Chen. And so we get there, and Dustin pitches a vendor, and they're like, "Are you the guys who had the blizzard and killed it?" We're like, "You're darn tootin'."
Darn tootin'.
Don't ever say that again. Don't ever say darn tootin'.
It preceded us, and I feel like that really helped. And the word started to spread amongst convention goers, the Astronomiconers, the vendors, the celebrities, to where the second year, dude, I'm not going to say we hit it out of the park, but it was a solid triple.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say that. But...
And maybe not over into the stands.
Okay, we legged it out. We did.
Yeah.
And just the celebrity lineup and the talent and the fans and the growth and the weather. Everything was just beautiful for year two.
It's actually setting up for a beautiful year this year.
Hopefully
reasonably warm.
So, 35. And now we're heading into year 3. And I mean, if you have followed us, you have seen the progression and how we've continued to grow.
We got Kevin Eastman.
Right.
We got the first ever Clerks panel, Jeff Anderson appearance.
Alexa Bliss.
And the WWE has blitzed us with Alexa Bliss.
Miss Alexa
Ohio's
Miss Alexa Bliss.
Putting you in a
We'll be at
headlock
the Astronomicon.
every Friday night on SmackDown on Fox. Shameless plug for them. I mean, we're doing some things, man.
So one of my questions that I actually had was, whose idea was it to put a convention in cold-ass Michigan during the snowy season of February?
Honestly, the hotel.
Okay, that's fair.
Me and the hotel.
That's fair.
So I went and I looked at like 5 different venues. For those of you who know me, I am very crafty. And
that's the word.
I'm a problem solver. And I'm very conscientious of what we do. Mm. And with that being said, when I went to that hotel and I sat down and I'm like, I walked in, I was like, the space is good, the amenities are perfect for our crowd. It's on a side of town where there's nothing going on. I'm like, hey,
nothing really going on in
what's
Michigan
your availability? Because, we're doing it in October. Well, part of the learning process was being conscientious of other conventions. You've got Yuma on Halloween. You've got Mark in Grand Rapids a week later, give or take. At the time, he was still in October. Mm-hmm. At the time, Mark was before Yuma on October 22nd. So I was like, I want my competition. Now they're my friends. I need to do it somewhere that no one else is doing anything.
Our friend.
Yeah. Like, it's just the thought process in my brain is like, Dustin's not in my brain, so I don't when I'm thinking,
that's
when
not true.
In the middle of the night when he wakes up with ideas for Asher, like, hey, no, just jot this down real quick.
Next to himself, he doesn't say we. He says he or I or Mike. But no, yeah, so, it was a conscientious decision to not do it in your con season, September, October, November. So then the hotel was like, February is really slow. And I'm like,
well, let's make it fast.
February, huh? All right.
Yeah.
So we picked between Super Bowl and Valentine's. We will live, and that's where we will stay.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds very good.
These are all long-winded, too. I know.
I was gonna say, I feel like we don't have to do anything.
Right. Amanda and I are just sitting here going,
we don't got to do anything. Just let
I
you
told
go.
you not to give him free reign to talk.
no, I'm good with it. The less work I got to do, the better I am.
He'll chime in when he needs.
That's true. I'm going to fall back.
No.
Well, okay.
Well, what he needs to do is answer emails while I answer, and then he listens to me.
And then I get yelled
so
at
he
for,
can chime in.
look, he took my phone away again. I can't talk to anybody.
No.
All right. So Astronomicon is obviously a very unique show in a lot of different ways. Was this like part of your planning process? Was this something that you wanted like going in, or did it just kind of happen?
I mean, we absolutely wanted something different than regular conventions. We wanted something that was not to be, cliche or anything, but astronomical, out of this world. We wanted to bring all the good things from our con experiences throughout the years and make them into. Hey, Georgie,
You want to say hi?
we got our third coordinator here. Out of the three of us,
There's
is
no
very
chair, but you
rare.
can crouch.
Oh, hey,
This is
George,
George.
how are you?
Kyle, Amanda, and like
Nice to
20
meet you
people hanging
guys.
out with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for interviewing these gentlemen.
Well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make a different kind of experience for everybody, to make it a con goers con, if you will.
Stop?
Oh, we're not sitting there. I got you, bro.
So, and to Dustin's point, right? We took our big whiteboard, which is pretty much the size of this backdrop, and we just wrote every idea that we thought would be fun. It had video gamers. It had some things that probably weren't family oriented. I mean,
He's talking about porn.
Yeah.
We wrote it down. That doesn't mean it was going to happen, but we wrote it down to think of every type of convention and different demographic that we could bring together and still have a successful, fun con for everybody.
You know, I wouldn't be shocked if one of these days you guys text me or something that's like, hey, we're bringing in...
Roger!
There is no name that could be put out there that would shock me.
It's true.
Hey, porn is everybody pop culture.
Right.
Family friendly.
Guys, we're bringing in Jenna Jameson. It's on.
It is. That's why we nixed it. I turned into Sailor.
Hey.
But family friendly is definitely a thing that we strive for, because I mean, literally,
It should be for everybody.
we go everywhere. Me and him together yesterday, for instance, walk into a store and somebody's like, "Oh, you're the convention with the Juggalos." I was turned off as soon as I found that
wrote
out.
that off.
Just like me, just with a little bit heavier face and a beard. Not so much different from you, Kyle. No, but no, like I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, so you can look at me and tell that I'm a Juggalo? And he's like, no. I was like, exactly. Everyone who comes to my convention looks like you, looks like me. We're all just normal people that have different fandoms. And so after we kind of kicked him the shtick and told him about the Amazon documentary, he was like,
Not to mention that there's thousands of non-juggalos,
Yeah.
or maybe they don't know that they're not a
Amanda's
juggalo,
a
but they come to the
non-juggalo.
con every year
It's true.
too.
And I look non-juggalo, but I was there when they got ran out of Toledo the first time. Like, you know,
He's got jug
I've been around.
roots.
but honestly, it's if you like comics, if you like
Right.
video games, if you like wrestling, if you like horror, if you like pop culture, if you like Twisted,
If you like trivia, if you like cosplay,
there's 6 options for you right there. Right, just keep.
if you like to just party, you can come out because we got 3 of them.
I mean, there is some alcohol included. There's concerts. We got Mickey Avalon. We got some.
We got
You didn't hear about that?
there's everything. It's February. It's an indoor pool. It's heated. We walked in there the other day, and I was actually
Lazy
it was too
River.
warm. There is a lazy river.
And
No,
tub,
so
water slide,
Amanda just found out about September morning.
They're following us.
Like,
which is also a comic book.
well,
That's where
they were in our store.
They've done an store there.
Really?
They've
I
been
did not
here.
know.
Well, not here. The other one, but you know, they've been with us.
Last
Like,
year.
It's
Yes.
they're like that's super cool that these people who kind of we know from separate from Astronomicon, and then they come to Astronomicon, and now it's all this big family. James Blanton's commenting on the thing. James is a guy I only know from the convention scene, but now we're talking on the shows and all the kind of stuff we do. That's how the Astronomicon really is a family event.
Mm-hmm. The family you have and the family you create. I mean,
The family you have and the family you like.
right.
So, let me ask it this way, because I don't know how to. Family-friendly event, but you have, like, you've had every dude who's played Freddy, like, in the last 20 years at the show. Or, not Freddy, Jason.
One dude was played
Jason.
Freddy. No,
Who's played Freddy?
No, Jason.
one, and then the dude.
No. He means he means at our show. So we've had
sorry.
Tony Mason. You can do Jason or you can do Michael Myers because we've had both.
Right.
But yeah, so Jason, we've had Kane Hodder. We've had now C.J. Graham. Michael Myers. We have currently James Jude Courtney. We had Tony Moran our first year.
Yes.
We had Tyler May.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So horror's big thing that I believe gets overlooked at your standard comic cons because they're not as comic book oriented.
Yep.
I know Mark from Grand Rapids does a real good job, as does Gary in Monroe, of bringing out a horror guest almost every show. So shouts out to them for loving horror and
for loving people.
But that's what I was going to ask is, was that, hey, I want to go after these icons who, because Sid Haig had been there, and rest in peace, Sid. All these guys who you might not recognize without the masks.
So the beautiful thing about Twisted is that their music is at times looked at as a horror movie set to music. And because of that, we have connections to Sid Haig. We have connections to Bill Moseley, who played Chop Top, who's been in every Rob Zombie, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. We have connections to Kane. These people have been in Twisted music videos. Tyler Mane, been in a Twisted music video. Also played Sabretooth in the X-Men movies.
Yep.
When we did our first one, we're like, man, we need to call in all the favors. So we're asking all our friends to be like, help us build this empire. And it just so happened that it worked. And, having Sid Haig, may he rest in peace, dress up as Captain Spaulding, the only time he's ever done it in Michigan, our convention with it, I mean, that's a memory that I will never forget. And I know that it made memories for hundreds of other people over the course of that weekend.
Yeah.
That is why you go to a convention, to do something that you can't do every day. I don't see famous people at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
I go to these things because it's like, I want to see Captain Spaulding, who's in this movie, at this show. You can't do that anywhere else.
Me, I don't honestly. I am hyped for one guest this year. You can ask Mike. I don't normally get hyped for anybody to where I'm gonna fanboy out and get pictures. I never get pictures. I never get autographs. I legitimately enjoy bringing that experience to someone else, like making your day. Like I care less. Anthony Michael Hall is coming this year, and I'm really excited about it.
16 Candles or Breakfast Club, Dustin?
Weird Science.
All right.
Brother.
I was gonna say
I had you pegged for a John
not
Hughes guy, but I'll give you Weird Science.
Science. And then I'll go Breakfast Club. 16 Candles. I mean, as iconic of a movie as it is, it wasn't really my thing when I was, 11 years old.
The guy who played Dong,
and
well, and
I was gonna say, and also wasn't he in Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands.
So
they came out with the Weird Science TV show, and I think I was a young lad, and my mom, if I could watch it, our movie, and I was like, no, look, it's the TV show. And when it came on, it was actually a movie, and I never told her, but it actually became one of my favorite movies ever. I did meet him, and yeah, it's good.
Okay, so we're just talking about like what you're most excited about for this year, like the guests that you're most excited about. What are your personal highlights from years 1 and 2?
Personal highlights from year 1, finishing it and being successful. That was my
There's
highlight.
a lot I don't remember from year 1. I blacked out.
That's a tough one.
I had a Thursday. There was just a lot of stress.
I think we all did. Yeah, that wasn't a fun
not
show.
Screwing up that girl's wedding.
Oh my god.
That's a highlight because when we're idiots, right? We do a gosh darn wedding at a pop culture con. I don't recommend that. For those of you out there,
did it twice. We did it twice.
For those of you out there, don't schedule weddings.
Nope.
That is the most stressful
You
shit
will
ever.
ruin someone's life.
Is anybody getting married this year?
No.
If they decide they
No.
want to, just send them to the booth. I'll marry them at the booth. We'll take the,
Ming Chen, blazing at homie. We've got ordained ministers. You can.
Kane Hodder's walking people
Right.
down the aisle.
So no, year 1, I want to say the only thing I can remember that really stuck out that I was like, oh my gosh, was
The first year?
I can't even think. What did I do?
Mine was probably the Ryan Hurst driving
How
in the
about
snow.
Ryan Hurst?
getting Jay Muse
Ryan
3 days
just-
before the show happens?
There.
That Jay Muse actually really loves us too. He's known Twisted for a while. We met him at Rock and Shop many a time, Days to the Death. Like they're really good with each other.
Ryan Hurst to me was the highlight for me for year one, because outside of our world, that was the biggest we got, and that was
for a first year con.
Yeah. To lock in Ryan Hurst,
and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
First ever Michigan appearance, because he'd skipped whatever that big one is a couple of times. Yeah. I do that, Kyle. I see you smirk every time.
I love it. No. You have no idea what warms that, how much that warms my heart when you do that.
No, but I'm real. Like Ryan Hurst year one, that was a big deal. Just for us as a collective unit, it meant a lot to Twist. It meant a lot to me and George, and the fact that he was there, that was huge. And then year two, there's three. Bam Margera.
Okay.
Because 16-year-old Mike is like, you did it. The other one is Tiny Lister. Tiny Lister, me and him and Nick, our third dude who handles all the celebrities, were the only people he would talk to. He's like, you guys get shit done. I want to talk to you. And I was like, this is great. It was a good story.
And he has mentioned he's Debo the whole time. We rolled up to here in Detroit too early in the morning because he was comfortable with us. And you come up and there's security sitting there, and he comes up and I start giving him the spiel. Hey, we have an interview with this and that, and he was like, "Hey, you know who I am? Let us in." And he just looked in and was like, "Okay," and let him in.
That's amazing.
100%. Yeah. And then the third one to me is we did, and to me, I over the 2 years, my biggest thing, my most rewarding, having fun at Astronomicon, because that's truly what it's all about. And so the fact that my son got to come there for 30 minutes, and we hung out with the Ghostbusters, and for a split second he's in the dock, to me that's amazing. So that's my highlight reel of that.
Well, can I give you mine?
Please.
Last year, you had Dee Snider.
We did.
Dee Snider holds a special place in my heart because for 6 years I was a board op for Dee Snider's House of Hair.
Oh, that's awesome!
Really?
I walk up to him and I go, I don't want to. I just walk up to him. He didn't have a line for a second. He was just about to leave, and I walk up to him. I just say, "Sir, I want to shake your hand. I was a board op on House of Hair for 6 years." And he goes, "What market?" And I go, "Toledo." And he knew the call letters and the station frequency, and he knew program directors, and we talked about House of Hair. We didn't talk about any of the other stuff. And then the next day he comes back and goes, WIOT! And he just points at me as he's walking by, and I'm like, yes!
Yeah.
Something I did is relevant.
That was another big one for us, man.
Cool.
And
that was
work,
huge.
Both did, going to a bunch of conventions, and networking to try to up our ante, if you will. Which I think we've equaled this year.
From last year?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So, other than the blizzard the first year and the blizzard when everyone was leaving the second year,
well, got him there. That's the. You eventually got home, but at least you got there on time and had your fun.
And your story about bringing Ryan Hurst in was my story about going home Sunday of last year with a trailer behind my truck and people spinning out coming through downtown Detroit. And
that sounds about right.
Should have just got another hotel.
I should have, okay? The bad decisions are made all the time.
Well, I had to work the next week.
Yeah, we all had to be at work, but...
Astronomicon late hours.
But other than the weather, what has been the biggest challenge you've had keeping this at the level that you kind of have set for yourself?
I don't know. I think we've
every year Mike fucks up the layout.
Button?
For me as what I handle for our convention, the layout. I can't for the life of me figure it out per se. I always get there.
There's an ongoing joke. We've had to go to the host hotel 4 or 5 times now, and George always is
because I'm like, oh, I got to measure.
And he'll be like, so did the hotel change dimensions since last year or the year before that? Because I'm pretty sure it's the same.
He's like, did the hotel grow? I'm like,
right.
Nope,
You don't get it. This is how I think.
And I literally, I took him there yesterday. I was like, hey,
We're done.
we gotta put tables. We took 8-foot tables and I laid them on the floor so I could be like, all right, my vision is this person will be here and this person will be here. And it's how my brain works. But at the end of the day, if you've been to Astronomicon, you can say that my vision is not crazy. It's not organized, but it's...
Melzak is right. I did want to kill you after the drive back last year.
There were several times where I wasn't even on a road. It's Michigan, I don't care.
Oh, and I lost you.
I agree. But we're used to that.
But
we're used to that.
No, it's the layout is always listening to you talk about the layout, that's how my brain works too, and it makes Amanda absolutely insane. I'm like, no, we need to put the boxes where I want the boxes, and then when it doesn't work, I'll figure it out from there.
And that's why we're a good team, is because he knows at the end of the day, like, to trust me, and that while it's crazy from the journey is the crazy part, the finish is normal and the beginning is normal. It's that whole middle.
He just knows I catch. The way I always say it is if we were life partners together, he would be the one that would buying up everything he sees in sight. I need all of this, and then he brings it home and he's like, "Hey, can you put this together?" I'm like, all right, come on. I look at the little things. He's a big picture man, you know?
And the beautiful thing about Astronomicon, and George said this best in the documentary, is anything that Dustin or I or George or Jamie and Paul notice is wrong, none of the fans do. From the minute you show up until the minute you go home, you don't see any hiccups or breakdowns.
There was little fires all over the place that we had to put out, you know? But no one noticed anything.
And that's what I think a good convention is. That's how you can tell it's run by people who care and by people who sort of know what they're doing.
That's true.
Okay, so we were talking about guests. You seem to have been able to pull out some guests that I've never seen at another convention. So, like, my big example of that would be Jeff Anderson.
Who's never done another convention.
Right. How do you guys do that? What magic do you work?
Right.
We got faces and good voices. Like, hey, you know what? I want to come over here and make some money in February.
I'm going to tell you the number one thing that works to our advantage is we are fans. And I don't mean we're fanboys and we're not marks and we're none of that. We genuinely enjoy going to conventions the same way you and Kyle do. And the same way Ching does. Like, we enjoy looking at who their list is and being like, oh, dude, I'd love to meet them, and I'd love to meet them. And our list of who we'd love, it's insane. Claude Van Damme to Steven Seagal to from D and E horror murdered in Friday the 13th 7. Like, again, we look at this whole crazy list and we reach out and we do our research.
Rich Little. That's
and start to put in the legwork and we really hone in. And I'm not going to lie, we get lucky.
Luck has everything to do with things in life. Like, some people are lucky, some people are unlucky.
We've been blessed and we put in the work, and, you know, we have a good reputation.
It's luck. Like, we put in a lot of work and everything wanted to hammer down on us. And then it was just like, no, we're going to let it happen.
I put in to get a tattoo at this year's Astronomicon. It was between two things to get tattooed. And one of them was the saying that luck is a factor of hard work plus determination. You don't get lucky if you're not determined and you don't work hard. And if I'm going to toot your horns for a second, you guys bust your ass.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it in Mike's eyes when you get there Friday to set up. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go to bed. Like,
I don't know.
By the end of the weekend, Dustin's voice has changed pitch 7 or 8%.
he has to go here because that's all
Well, I
he's
was gonna
got.
say, I feel like it's very true. These two guys definitely work hard, and I've been at every show.
Mm-hmm.
So years 1 and 2, and I will be there for 3. I feel like you guys are like the Flash. I see you a minute, and then the next minute you're gone because you're off somewhere doing something, handling something. I'm just like, well, I'll catch up with you at some point.
I walked a good 8 miles for the whole Astronomicon.
It doesn't help that we put our hotel rooms at the other end, so we have to walk that whole hallway to go
because
anywhere.
we want to try to eliminate the farthest walks. Like, okay, we'll take that bone so no one else does.
No, but honestly, like it's crazy because, like I said, I don't remember parts of the first year at all. And I watched a video where someone recorded me talking after the wedding was over, and this is all you see, is like, just I'm scanning the room. It looked like I'm like, all right, dude, what drug is this kid on that he's
Coke.
like?
The answer is Coke.
Right.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Cocaine for 1,000.
Yeah, no, and the hard work is just because, again, in my brain, this is how you succeed, and this is how you grow. And not everyone's willing to do what we're willing to do. And, I mean, Bam Margera, I traveled to New Jersey to lock that in. I didn't call him on the phone. I went there. I was in front of him. I figured out a good conversation piece, hit it off with his agent, and, 6 months later, we got it. I mean, we have Kevin Eastman. Not only do we have Kevin Eastman, the creator of the years of solidified body of work, he drew a comic book cover for Twisted's Haunted Ions.
I guarantee that if you go to any guest celebrity, vendor, whatever it is that has ever come to Astronomicon, they have nothing bad to say.
No.
It's a con-goers con. It is built for the people going to it. It is built to make the celebrities happy and make it worth their time. It's truly a out of this world experience.
Just ask Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
I appreciate the tagline in her video.
Yeah. All right.
So this leads me to a question that I kind of just had was, how far out do you guys start working for the next year? Are you already working on next year?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So you have the dates and the venue and the location. So I want to know that before going into years. This one ends.
And there's already a list of celebrity guests that we would love to have for 2021. We have an ongoing spreadsheet of, add this. Who do you think we should go? It's an ongoing
and because
thing.
We have no
in between our other work.
We have no intention of this slowing or anything. So it's always like, we had a conversation today where I'm like, oh, dude, next year we can't do this, and we can't do this, and we got to do this. So it's like, you're always thinking of, up your game. Otherwise, I don't want to be stagnant.
Make it different.
Can I take a stab at number 1 on the list?
And it's hard. It's getting harder.
Is number 1 on the list the reincarnated zombie Stan Lee? Because it crosses everything.
No.
Hologram.
It's a little bit
hologram.
Our
Hologram. Reincarnated and zombie.
I would. Well, either one. Hologram is going to come for Astronomicon 2032. Zombie Stan Lee is going to come for 2050.
I'm in.
That's how we're
put
going
me
to
on the
close
list.
out the convention. We go out of business. Zombie apocalypse. Prince. Michael Jackson. Tupac.
Well, you can already get
Everybody's there.
hologram Tupac. That's easy.
But not
Zombie
zombie
Tupac we can
Tupac.
So,
All right.
so 2059 Astronomicon will be the year of the zombie.
Yes.
Got it.
Put me on the list. I want a big booth.
We're going to bring back The Walking Dead. It's going to be a live reality TV show. Sign up now.
No, so we've kind of mentioned Jeff Anderson and Alexa Bliss and these guys. What's new this year for Astronomicon 3? What is
And I could think about
the pool party?
Astronomicon has done a sanctioned event in the pool area, the water park area, actually, I should say, because there is many different water features.
I've actually never been to the pool at
Astronomicon.
Astronomicon.
Most of them to be the first and only pool party.
We're
tearing it down after
our
this year.
show. Yeah.
So it's the last time it's going to be
Okay. Well, so
we are doing differently. If you've been to every other Astronomicon, we are moving. We're putting Kevin Eastman in a private room. We're doing different things with the lines where we're actually going to have some formidable.
Just to make it organized.
We just want to free up some space
to move people through these lines, so everybody's not just standing and like, oh man, I've been in this line for 45 minutes now. Like, we want to be efficient. We want to get everybody through and get what they need and came for without wasting it.
That sounds good. So, like I said, we mentioned guests. Who are some of the guests that we've heard about? Kevin Eastman, we've heard about Alexa Bliss, we've heard about the Clerks guys. Who are some of the guests that are maybe not the giant names that like people need to make sure they don't miss? For me, it's Lloyd Kaufman.
Lloyd is a good dude. And
I would say,
Richard Brake.
Richard Brake is from Game of
Charles
Thrones.
Fleischer.
Alex Vincent was the little boy in the Chucky movies.
There's Brutus the Barber.
Beefcake.
He's coming out. He's giving haircuts.
Get your beard trimmed.
I told him to stay away from mine. I don't want you.
You know, that might have to be a Facebook Live video. Is have him get the scissors and.
I agree.
Let's do it.
Ain't trimming me.
He's excited for.
It's. I mean, there's coming back again this year, and he actually was a great, super personable guy. Anybody, you go talk to him, and he's just a nice, normal guy, and until he needs to be the boogeyman.
I was gonna say I'm not a wrestling fan, so that's probably I think one of Kyle's favorites is we're sitting in our booth and he walked by in full costume, the boogeyman, and I'm just, oh hey, how you doing? He keeps going, and Kyle's like, you know who that was, right? I said, I have no idea.
Right.
He had to then educate me in booth of who this man was.
I'm playing his entry videos from like WrestleMania and stuff. For you watch this, you know?
That's so awesome. No, that's what we like about
it.
RJ Mitty's another good one.
There's a lot of just we actually pulled out all the stops this year, and we're like, let's make it bigger, man. Let's do something that's bigger than life.
So, where can people go to get tickets, get more information, find out all the particulars?
Besides for our social medias, which have something Astronomicon related, we should be the first one to pull up. Astronomicon.com is your easiest source to get tickets, information, anything.
Everything is there. You go to www.astronomicon.com, astronomicon.com. You can see you guys are included, the artists. You can see the time schedules for panels and photo ops.
Celebrity pricing.
Events that we have planned up. But obviously, yes, right here on Facebook. We have our own YouTube channel.
Facebook at Astronomicon, Instagram at The Astronomicon, Twitter at Astronomicon, and we have you.
So, I just completely lost my train of thought. Yeah. I'm gonna get Amanda and I off of here.
That's Astronomicon. Hey, sounds like
this is what I wanted to ask. You have special tickets for certain things. Alexa Bliss is a special ticket. There's VIPs available. What are the different things people need to be purchasing now to come to Astronomicon so they can get the most out of their experience?
That's this guy right here.
First of all, everybody who comes to Astronomicon needs a ticket to get in, whether it's Friday, Saturday, or a VIP. Any one of those 5 will get you access to get long or just for one day, your choice. If you buy Alexa Bliss's combo, which is an autograph and a photo, you're getting a free weekend pass to the convention. You're also getting an 11x17 poster. So those 6 essential convention. If you want to do Alexa Bliss, you have to buy her specific products. Kevin Eastman, we have a VIP just for Kevin. You can skip the line. And if any of you have ever tried to and or actually met Kevin Eastman at a convention,
it's tough.
The lines are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So limited to 50 people per session. You can skip the line, be the first one in, and knock it out. You get 2 autographs, you get a poster, you get a pass. You're all good. Outside of those, everything else is your standard shtick. You can go see your favorite celebrity at their booth, get their photo and their autograph. You can buy a pro photo where you can get it professionally taken by a photographer in front of a nice backdrop. They print it out for you, they hand it to you, and you're good to go. We also have concerts, which you can buy tickets for, or if you're a VIP for Astronomicon, you get in free to those as well.
Is there anything that people need to get on today because it's like going to be sold out tomorrow?
Alexa Bliss will sell out. Kevin Eastman Saturday early slot.
Bliss is right there. Eastman is close, but not as close as Miss Bliss. I'd say both of those. If you want to guarantee you're getting, unless you want that, you need to get this pass before it sells out. Kevin Eastman, if you want to guarantee an autograph from him, you need to get this VIP.
2 autographs.
It is 2. 2 come with.
So,
and if 2 isn't enough, come see me.
Yeah, there you go. And the cool thing about Kevin Eastman as well, we're not a Comic-Con. We have
comic vendors.
Pretty legit comic guests and comic vendors. We also have CBCS on hand all weekend long. So if you have Haunted Highons and you buy a book from Dirk, you get it signed from Dirk and Twisted, and you can get your signature verified, and they can slab it.
Team Eastman guys, is he? CGC?
Yeah, and then there's a CGC person in Team Eastman
for autographs and there. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, so I'm gonna take Amanda and I off the screen to get our ugly mugs out of the way. Take a few minutes and just sell. Why should people come to Astronomicon? Do the thing that gets people to Astronomicon right now.
Do
all right,
thing,
pull your
man.
pants down.
Do the thing. That's a different show. That's a little R-rated.
No, honestly, I feel like we've done that the whole time. I honestly, if you come to Astronomicon, we can't thank you enough. If you take the time to ask us questions, we are never too busy to see and thank you for being there. From the bottom of my heart, honestly, in the car on the way here, I read a couple of messages because it's like it's not for us. It's for you guys.
Amazon Prime. Check out Astronomicon Pop Culture Convention. It's 30 minutes long. If you have Amazon Prime, you can rent it for $2. It's not. It's.
We'll put the links in the comments.
Check us out, man.
So,
you will not
just to wrap that up. We will be at Astronomicon, the 4th through the 7th. Yeah, 7th, 8th, and 9th of February. There's our gorgeous little graphic that these guys so graciously make for us. Right. That is a gorgeous graphic. I actually have taken to using that color scheme pretty much all the time because I love it. Astronomicon, once again, Wyndham Garden, Sterling Heights. The 7th, 8th, and 9th. Dirk Manning will be there. Dirk Manning will be here. We'll talk about that in a minute. But just in case you don't get a Kevin Eastman VIP, he's here this Saturday. 5th. Yes. Yes. Right.
Sign. Bring them to me at Astronomicon. Cody will slap them.
I feel like Lexi just did, challenging me to the Astronomicon Championship belt.
No, I'm gonna
go. We need to talk about the Astronomicon Championship belt. No, but we were talking about Kevin Eastman being nearly sold out. If you need to get more Kevin Eastman stuff, Cody and I have your hookup. CBCS and the Nexus 419 have your hookup. We got a package deal. Message the store for details. Message CBCS. Message Lockwood's Loot. Everybody's involved. Thank you to these guys for making this even remotely possible.
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely.
We have had a little hand in. You guys are amazing.
It's 98.
I expect you to bring that to Astronomicon.
98.
98? My Facebook messages.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, ever get into vintage video games, that's when I'll start hassling you.
You know,
you. I wanted to come to the store this weekend for the Dirk thing. I'll just be out of town. I might send Dustin my proxy. Either way, Astro should be represented.
I am not
Send Dustin. We'll get him small batch free range pizza.
Small batch.
We don't eat bread.
I can
I'm
get you
on
cauliflower
bread now.
crust or hemp. You pick.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, but honestly, yeah, man, I really do. Thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch. I know that we're not the most exciting people. Dirk Manning's in the house.
Thank you guys. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Remember to check out Astronomicon, astronomicon.com. Dirk Manning's going to break the emoji button.
Yeah, he is.
Just one last promo shout out. Dirk will be here for the New Year, New Fear signing Saturday from 1 to 5. Dirk Manning, who wrote Haunted Highons with Twisted. Isabella Christiana, who has a piece in Cafe Macabre, which is an all-female driven horror book. They will be here 1 to 5 Saturday. Maybe Dustin will show up. Maybe not. Maybe we'll make fun of Mike live on Facebook all weekend. We'll just see what happens. So, that is it for news from the Nexus. Remember, guys, this podcast will go away tonight at midnight. It will be back next Tuesday on YouTube and Podbean and the website and the Facebooks and everywhere else you can read and get those things.
So if you need one last reminder of when Astronomicon is, you can get it again next week.
Right, next week. So, we will see everybody soon, very soon. Talk to you later.
Bye,
everybody.